Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
Welcome to Wheel of Horror Sci-Fi Summer, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week, it chooses the sci-fi movie, and they discuss it. Today we're talking about the 1985 film Back to the Future, which was directed by Robert Zemeckis. I'm your co-host, Alec.
I'm Erik, and with us again is Jack Baca, Jack to the Future. Welcome back to the show.
Jack to the Future. That's awesome. Awesome. Yeah, hey, thanks for having me back.
Oh, damn, yeah, that's really good, Erik.
I don't know, I just came up with that.
Yeah, like I've been sitting on that all day. Like
all day.
I gotta change my name again.
Yeah. So, yeah, last time we had you, Jack, was for Home Alones. You've been getting these are some heavy hitters. None of them are horror, though.
Like you said for Home Alone, you said Home Alone's the gold standard of Christmas movies. This is the gold standard of 80s movies, sci-fi movie, like the gold standard of a lot of movies.
Yeah, it's got a lot of awards.
Yeah. So this, I know, Jack, this is one of your favorite movies, right?
Of all time.
Goat.
Yeah, this movie, I don't know. Erik, I know you
It's
love
up
this
there.
movie.
It's up there, man.
Posters.
It's one of my top 3 or 4.
Yeah, all the time we were growing up, even when we were kids, we drove to Fisher Meadows and we blasted the theme to this movie, driving 88 miles an hour. Remember that?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't want to incriminate myself.
Okay. Yeah, so we did do that. That was fun. But yeah, this movie, I don't know, I've been watching since I was like 10 years old. It's one of those movies you watch like every year. I just can't get enough of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I wish they just had Eric Stoltz. I really wish. No, I'm kidding. Like, this movie's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect.
I think the first crush I ever had, or the first time I was ever like, is that what hot is? I think was his mom.
Leah Thompson?
Yeah, Leah Thompson. It wasn't even in this movie. I think it was in Howard the Duck. And I was like, who is this woman? Like, I just remember having like these, like my skin didn't fit anymore. And then I remember I saw Back to the Future, which had already come out. I mean, that came out well before I was of movie watching age. But then I saw that at the Blockbuster. We took it home, and I was like, yeah. So like the only reason I ever first started watching it was Leah Thompson, because I was like, I think she's attractive.
It's weird too, because like you find her attractive when she's young, but then you get to see her when she's old. You get to see her in the sequels with like fake boobs and curly hair. You get to see her in all these different outfits, even like an old Irish woman in the Wild West too. She goes through a lot of transitions in this trilogy.
All hot.
She sure can hydrate a pizza.
Yeah, that's true. Pops it right in.
Keep going.
Wait, which one's your favorite?
Definitely alcoholic Leah Thompson.
Yeah.
Just giving up.
Vodka.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh my God, it's Pop-Off vodka too. Like,
ooh.
Yeah, it's bad.
That was the go-to like alcoholic mom vodka. Like that was the same from like Nightmare on Elm Street, and then this one. And then what's his face? Stephen King was drinking in Creepshow. Pop-Off.
Oh, no way.
Right.
Plastic bottles.
That's some gnarly stuff. Gnarly.
It doesn't even come in glass.
No, it's so gross.
Drinking vodka, she's baking a cake for her Gerald Bird brother, Joey. Can't talk.
A lot of people say this is like a perfect film, and I was really trying to pick it apart this time, and I mean, there's not a lot to really shit on for this movie. It's pretty goddamn airtight.
I have one mini thing, and it bothered me watching it. You know, the first time he sends Einstein to the future, like the first time travel experience?
Of course.
The car comes back all frozen.
Yeah.
Why doesn't that happen ever again?
It does. It does.
It does? Does it? Does it?
It's smoking every time.
But never like covered in ice and you touch it.
Yes, it does.
When, Alec?
When he comes back from the past in 1955, right when he crashes in, he sees the homeless guy, the car is frozen then too.
Okay. You're right. You're right. I didn't see it. Like I don't get why sometimes and not others, but I guess that's the question I need answers for.
I don't remember that happening in the sequels, but I do remember that. I mean, I did see that.
That was one thing to study. I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe because it was such a short time visit. I don't know.
It's so original.
Yeah.
You can't compare this to anything. Do you know much about the behind the scenes, Jack, about this at all? Like what inspired this?
No.
So I think it was Robert Zemeckis or Bob Gale, whoever one of them. Bob Gale was one of the writers. They just were looking through their yearbook and they saw a picture of their dad and their mom, and they're just like, "What it would be like to like meet your mom or dad when they were teenagers." And that was kind of the whole spark of it. And then it would be like, what would happen if you fell in love or your mom fell in love with you? Like that's just such a you can't. That's nothing. Like you can never compare that to anything. How do you even pitch that?
Is it like a gentle incest joke?
It is the whole movie.
Yeah, it's like what made him think of that is the first thing I'd ask, but
They pull it off really well. I'd say like if you boil it down to a giant gentle incest joke, I mean like it works. it works. Usually that would be
And
gross.
Marty McFly is so uncomfortable throughout the movie, which is it's just great for dramatic irony, so
I think he has to be.
yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah, I
love
would hope.
the line too, right when she comes in to ask him on the date or whatever, he just goes, "Hi, Mom." And he immediately catches himself. It's just she must be like, "What did he just say?" Like, it's so funny to the audience, but yeah, it is an incest joke, but it's not creepy. It's weird.
Yeah.
No, I'll
And also
allow it.
you catch things another thing about this movie, it's so rewatchable
Oh,
where you would catch things the second time watching that you wouldn't catch the first time. For example, when George is at the beginning and Lorraine's like, "What were you doing up when Grandpa hit you with the car?" And he's like, "What was that?" Like, we don't know what he was freaking out about. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't doing anything.
Ah.
But like we watch the movie and then we say, "Oh, he was a peeping Tom." So when you watch that movie again and see him go, "What was that, Lorraine?" It adds more to that scene.
Yeah.
Yep, I thought the same thing, Eric, when I was watching.
Very rewatchable.
Because when you're a kid and you see that, you're like, "Why is he freaking out about that?" Like, he says it so weird.
Yeah, why is he not listening? Like that's what you get, but no, it's like, oh, he really he remembers
Yeah.
what he was doing.
You don't forget. You don't forget that you were a peeping Tom.
No, no. One of the things that kind of took me off guard too was the terrorism stuff. First of all, this movie's PG. This movie,
Mhm.
they
Wow.
swear so much in this movie. There's like borderline rape, there's like racist jokes, they do drugs. It's like, I don't want to mess with no reefer addicts. Like there's, drug use, all this stuff. And it's a PG movie.
They seriously endanger a dog too, if you really think about that scene.
That's true.
Like we're gonna put a dog in this thing, and it's nuclear.
They have no idea what was going to happen.
Well, okay, to that point, Matt, he literally they don't know what's gonna happen. He's never done this because you see Doc Brown freak out the first time when the time machine goes through them, but he makes them stand in front of them. They could have just died, both of them
I
right
think
there.
I think that was for a reason. Like Doc Brown was like, either this works or I'm dead.
But he's
Yeah.
taking Marty with him.
Yeah.
Well,
that-
he spent his entire fortune. He ruined like his life making this time machine. He's a shitty inventor, except for this time machine. They make
And-
that very clear in the movie.
Also
So I
kind of
think
an
he
asshole.
stood in front of that DeLorean as like, this is it. Either this shit works or that's it.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing Marty with me. Like, like he pulls him in closer to him. Like,
I know.
it's pretty dark if you think about it. PG,
Real confident or suicidal. Yeah.
PG.
Yeah. And an asshole.
I know. And yeah, I mean, he robs from terrorists. There's just like a lot of things that you're just like, I don't think this would fly. Like a lot of this.
Yeah.
The Libyan terrorists too, like speaking English a couple times, like "Let's go" sort of thing. I'm like, they wouldn't say it in English. They'd probably
Couldn't
say
get
it
away
like,
with that today.
No, could you imagine?
If you're talking about like things you see the second time, I like the whole like twins pine, single pine, lone pine. Yeah.
Lone Pine Mall. Yeah.
I didn't notice that. I think I didn't even notice it on my own. I think I read it and I was like, no way.
Why didn't he just
Watch.
plant another pine? He could have done that. He was obsessed with pines. Yeah, the farmer.
Yeah. I guess and I was thinking about it too. The opening shot this time, I never appreciated it for what it is. It's all one take. The first,
The Rube Goldberg machine. Yeah.
well, the first time it breaks is when it cuts to see the dog food actually hit the bowl. But like the first like minute and a half of that movie is just one long. It's like Pee Wee's Playhouse kind of opening, but it's just a long take of all these clocks and cool devices working, and the TV comes on immediately and mentions the terrorist organization that they got the plutonium. It's like all these little things that I'm like, wow, I never appreciated like how much intricacy went into this opening shot.
And it shows that newspaper clipping of Brown's mansion burnt down, right?
Yep.
Does it show that?
Yeah.
What happened? Do they answer that in the other movies? I don't remember off the top of my head. What happened to Brown's mansion?
I don't think they do. I mean, he has the mansion in the first movie. Obviously, when it goes back, that huge house is his mansion.
Right. So he probably burnt it down in a scientific experiment, I'm guessing.
Maybe. I don't know. We never do find out. I don't think we do find out about that in the trilogy.
Brown's mansion didn't kill himself. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. We don't know what happened.
I guess he's pretty lucky too that he destroys that speaker.
Oh,
That's,
yeah.
like,
Yeah. Well,
probably-
he's like, well, Doc probably doesn't even remember. He probably just thinks that it broke because his machines are all fucked up anyway.
Yeah.
I guess. Well, I want to ask you guys too about that experiment where he's like, "Oh, my clocks are all running 25 minutes." It's like, what kind of experiment is that?
I don't know. Maybe he's playing with the time machine during that.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't think of that. Yeah.
It's got to be something time related, right?
Yeah, like time, like you know how he set the clocks with Einstein, and it's like 1 minute ahead. Maybe he did something with 25 minutes with something.
Yeah, it's true. It doesn't really answer that, but it does lead right into that awesome opening with Power of Love, and we just get to see Marty on the skateboard. We get to learn about his like personality in the town a little bit. That the music in this movie really.
Oh,
They do such a good job. They incorporate, I think, basically like three major, like usually like a movie like this, especially at that time, like it would be whatever the act was that wrote the theme song, which back then when movies had their own theme song, it would just be like they would just kind of focus on that and maybe have him with one cameo in the thing. But they've got Huey Lewis in the News, they've got Chuck Berry, and Van Halen is kind of a big part of it. I think it's cool how they incorporate a lot of the current music.
Do you know Huey Lewis is in the movie too?
Yeah, isn't he
He's like, I'm afraid you're just too darn loud when he tells Morty to stop the playing guitar. That's him.
at the school, right? And when
Yeah, he's like
auditioning
the guy
for
like in the Battle of the Bands or whatever.
yeah.
That's Huey Lewis.
Yeah, I love that. You're right though. I forgot about Van Halen, and then also
Right.
Mr. Sandman. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a great soundtrack, but the score, Alan Silvestri's score, it gives you that feeling. Just I don't know, I get like completely energized when I'm watching Marty run out of that diner and grab on that, and the music just starts playing. It's so good. It just strikes a nerve in me every time.
Yeah.
I always think of like the dun 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 dun, but this time I really kind of appreciated the twinkle noise a little more.
Yeah, that thing is insane. It'll get you. You just know what that is
Goosebumps,
anytime you
yeah.
hear it.
Yeah, exactly.
that
Like I
time
appreciated it more this time.
Yeah.
Even with when Earth Angel's
Mhm.
playing and you see like him start to like he's getting it back, sort of thing, because George, punched that guy in the face and then took her. That moment where you see the score come up and then Earth Angel's playing, and I'm just like, oh, this is so like, oh, I love this. Like it just all ties together. It's working.
Mm-hmm.
And then I love it. They're like, hey, come on, play one more song, man. Just one more song. He's like, I've got 30 minutes to literally the most important moment of my life.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you know what?
Sure,
Yeah,
let's do it.
guys.
Why not?
I love that so much. And then casually just makes the joke about leaving, and he's like about the 8-year-old burning the carpet on fire. I'm like, you don't have time for this, dude. Go. Like, go.
High
Love it.
stakes. Time to play guitar. All right, guys,
um,
here's Wonderwall.
Yeah.
I love it.
Your kids are gonna love it. One of my favorite reactions in this movie is when Marty tells Doc Brown about like my mom's falling in love with me, and then his mom comes to visit the Doc Brown mansion, and like the car's covered up, and like Doc Brown's facial expression is just like oh shit, like like also like in a way like I want to get away from this because I don't want to disappear either, like kind of thing, because he thinks like this is gonna ruin history.
Oh yeah. I didn't think about it like that.
Love it.
I really wish he would have done more in the time between then and now. Like he's really sparsely shown up in other forms of entertainment or movies.
Dennis the Menace is like one of the only things I can think of off the top of my head. Like and like that, like
He's
my
in the new-
favorite Martian.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I think he lives in Connecticut actually now. I'm not positive.
Wait, we're talking about Christopher Lloyd or talking about Doc Brown, the character?
Christopher
Christopher
Lloyd.
Oh yeah. Well, he was in Taxi, obviously, but then he's in the Addams Family. He's Uncle Fester.
Right.
True.
Does he live in Connecticut? I think he
right.
lives in Connecticut now. Oh, he's in
He's doing
Stamford.
theater now.
He's born in Stamford, Connecticut. I don't know if he still lives here, but he was born in Connecticut. It's the pride of Connecticut right there.
Yeah, no, he's a fun actor. It's tough though when you see they do like little reunion spots on like Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, and you see them together, and you're just like,
Yeah,
"Ugh,
what's it called? Reunited Apart with Josh Gad. They did like Leah Thompson was there. Everyone. Crispin Glover obviously showed up. No, but yeah, I mean, yeah, Christopher Lloyd. He's doing all right. He's old, man. He's 82, dude. He's 82. Yeah.
It's old.
Not as old
Yeah,
as
I mean-
the principal. The principal's 90 years old, still kicking. James Tolkien. He's not in the mood for slacking. No slacking.
What a slacker.
Yeah, I remember looking that up recently. It's like he's still alive, Strickland.
Strickland, yeah.
I mean, everybody from this movie is basically.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody that couldn't come back. I mean, if they wanted to. I don't know. I'd probably see it. I will say this is one of the few movies that like I will actually be very upset if they try to remake it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I can see that. I'm usually for remakes because it's like then just don't watch it if you don't like it. But yeah, I don't know. It's still good. There's no reason to.
yeah.
Right? I mean, what could they do to improve it? I mean, honestly, like the CGI is fantastic. It still holds up. I mean,
What would you do about like a 4?
I've heard that people have said that Doc will be dead and Marty will be like the Doc character, and then it'll be like, I don't know. I've heard that.
I have
which, I
a
don't
mind
know.
like I'll give you like the spark notes of like what could be a 4. Like you said, Marty McFly is like a professor at a school, teaches science. Obviously, he's a time traveler. I picture, this is just me, him in the good future in 2015. We've never seen the good future of 2015 where he doesn't get in that accident. We just see him miserable in the bad future. The drag race scene.
Yeah.
So I want to
The
see
Rolls
that
Royce.
good future. And I think it'd be nice if Doc Brown was still alive and he's like Marty kind of takes care of him kind of thing. And they kind of have like kind of like a fun old relationship. But Marty's also a professor, and there's a young student that reminds me of himself, and he calls him a slacker. You can have fun with it. You can have fun with it. But the only way to continue this story is to add a layer to it. And that is, if you go to the shitty Biff future timeline, like the Trump timeline, and like imagine like right after that they leave, they know about the sports almanac. That future, I think, still exists, right? In a space-time continuum.
Yeah, it's just split
Right.
off.
So imagine Biff freaks out after he's still alive at the end of it, right? He gets hit with the car door, he survives. So imagine Biff, he has all this money and power still. He's probably gonna get arrested, probably get divorced from Leah Thompson finally, or divorced again. And then he gets like a Manhattan Project where he gets like the best researchers and scientists in the world to try to build a time machine so he can go back again. And then we add a new character who's someone who has worked with Doc Brown and knows about the flux capacitor, played by Danny DeVito, obviously. And we just go there, and Biff goes back in time again, and then it just adds like a third group of Biff and Marty and Doc. But it would never happen. They're too old,
I don't hate it, but it's just unnecessary.
No one needs it. No one needs it. I don't want it, but like that's
agree.
the only thing that my brain can come up with.
I'd go see it for sure, 100%.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Dad.
I just want to see part 4. I just want to see the IV. I just want to see the Roman numeral right there.
I want a really sad, like, Jack, how you did the sad version of Hit Me Baby One More Time by Britney Spears that went on like on not Twitter, but Reddit. You could do like Huey Lewis and the Blues and just do like sad versions of his songs.
Oh man, but they're so happy. Oh man, that's a challenge. Yeah.
Take me away.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah, you could do I Want a New Drug. I Want a New Drug. Sad.
Oh yeah.
That is
do it.
pretty
Like,
sad, yeah.
I'll be back in town. Just really depressing though. Like I also had another idea. This is totally going to derail our conversation, but Family Guy did the Blue Harvest Star Wars. I would love them to do a Back to the Future.
They did.
One. They did?
Yeah, they did. Where it's kind of like a Back to the Future 2 more, where they kind of like watch their characters already interacting as Marty and them. But it was actually pretty fun. I can't remember what episode it is.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, and they do kind of like they make fun of how like it's like Marty McFly invented Chuck Berry's music, and so it's like, oh, so a white guy inspired a black guy who inspired a white, and it's just like they make fun of it. Basically.
I would just like to see like Peter like 1.21 gigawatts. So you got to sit down, Marty. You're not going anywhere. Like, and then like I like pictured in my head like oh, your younger mother wants to have sex with you. It's like people have paid top dollar for that in Texas. You should enjoy this ride. Like
it's the #1 category in Pornhub.
It's getting to the point now where like you'll see scenes from this movie on Pornhub because it's just like
oh my god.
Mother son.
Oh jeez. Also, we were talking about this briefly before the podcast. Rick and Morty, based off of this, clearly.
Yeah. I think that's it wasn't even a pilot. It was like just something I think Justin Roiland put together. It was called Doc and Marty, but there was an H in there. And it was really, really graphic and inappropriate. And then I think Adult Swim picked it up and said, you got to put some more depth to this. And then Dan Harmon got involved. And
they pitched it to Fox, and Fox was like, this is too much. And then it went to Adult Swim. So I think Fox dropped the ball there. But I love that idea. It's like, so it's like Back to the Future, Doc Brown and Marty, but Marty's his grandson and Doc is an alcoholic. Start there.
Yeah, and it works.
Whenever people ask me, they're like, if they haven't seen Rick and Morty, I'm like, do you like Back to the Future? Like, oh, I love Back to the Future. I'm like, it's literally that. But yeah, exactly what you just said. Doc's an alcoholic, Marty's his grandson. But
that's the pitch. Like,
yeah. It's I mean, I love Rick and Morty so much. It's so good. But yeah, this movie, I think it just makes Michael J. Fox. He's not the typical hero. I mean, he's kind of, he's kind of skinny and a little dorky sort of thing, but like he's kind of like the everyday guy. Like he's not the Ryan Gosling who's shredded or like, The Rock or something like that. He's just literally just like, that's like my neighbor. He plays guitar, he skateboards, like and he's just thrust into this amazing adventure.
He's cool though. He's cool. He was always like, I remember when I was real little, I was like, man, that guy is cool.
He is. He definitely has got like a hot girlfriend. He doesn't care about school. He plays guitar. He's in a band. Like, no, totally. But like, he's not the football star. It's not that kind of cool. It's a different kind of cool, which I think set the tone for like, kids like us growing up being like, oh, that's cool.
It's like, I don't want to be a straight A student, but I don't want to be a dropout. I want to be like a slacker.
Tip to be square.
Exactly. You know why Eric Stoltz, they got him out of the picture, right? The reason
I don't know why. I just know that originally they were gonna make it with him,
he
right?
sucks at skateboarding.
Oh,
No,
that's
that's not
it?
why. That's not why. I don't know why. I don't know. I think it was like it just didn't work, right? Wasn't that the main thing, Alec? Or
Well, so they filmed a lot. They
Yeah, they
filmed
shot a majority of the movie, didn't they?
and then they just kept watching the dailies and they're just like, he doesn't have that
Mhm.
like charisma that we're looking for. And they're watching was it Family Ties or Family
Family
Matters?
Ties, I
Which one
think.
was yeah, so they're seeing Michael J. Fox on that and they're like, that's what we're looking for. But he was already so invested in that show. So he would film that all day. He'd film the TV show. Then at night he would come film this movie. So he
Ah,
was
Mhm.
killing himself, but they're like, this movie's gonna be big, dude. But we got to do these reshoots quick. Can you learn your lines and do that at night? And that's what happened. Obviously, very good choice on his part. I mean, it allowed him to do everything. And then, even though he got Parkinson's, he was able to go into voiceover and did a couple cameos on TV shows and stuff. And very inspirational guy. Like I've heard him on
yeah.
podcasts. Like I love Michael J.
Yeah.
Fox as
I
a
still see him around every once in a while. He's on stuff like it's like, oh, there he is. He's
and
doing
he's
all right.
funny about it. Like, he
Yeah.
plays into his disease like on Curb Your Enthusiasm
Oh, I love
where
that joke where the soda.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "Did you shake this up?"
Sorry,
Like,
Parkinson's.
yeah, it's funny, dude. Like, and he plays with it, but I don't know. I always like that about Michael J. Fox, especially the character too. I was just like, he's not your typical
Right.
hero. Yeah,
What
I don't-
if they made the new one, what if they didn't use a DeLorean, which of course they probably would, what car would they use?
Tesla,
It has to be stainless
Tesla?
steel. Yeah, it would be a Tesla. Yeah.
Tesla.
The Cybertruck or just like a Model S or what?
I think it would. That's the thing. I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, if they were ever going to remake this, they'd have to use a Tesla. It's like, why not do
Yeah,
it with some style and some ability to drive itself and parallel park? And like,
I'd watch it. I'd still watch it.
I mean, Elon Musk, if he like got better at acting, maybe he could play the
Ah.
dog role.
I think no, I don't want him to get better. I think he should play the Doc role as is, like as weird as that guy is. Just go for it.
I don't know. I know there's people put videos out online with like face swap of Robert Downey Jr. as Doc and Tom Holland as Michael J. Fox, and I'm like,
Hmm, I don't
it's
know.
it's weird. It's like Uncanny Valley. It's just strange.
Does Disney own it yet, or
Universal still, right?
yeah? Well,
Yeah.
eventually though.
Well, but Robert Zemeckis had said that they're never, while he's alive, they're never going to remake this movie. So I
Okay,
was like,
good.
all right, well, keep holding out, man.
How old is he? He's pretty old.
He's in his 70s, yeah.
Oh no.
But I watched the cartoon. They made a Saturday morning cartoon in the I think very early '90s. It is not great, but
Yeah, I've never heard of it. I didn't know that was a thing.
I think there might even be a couple seasons of it. But it's more it's actually is a sequel to part 3. It is like the continuing journey, and Clara's in it, and they have the kids and Doc's kids are in it, and it's a cartoon, so it's weird. Yeah, if you ever are really craving Back to the Future, it's there.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I remember the 2015 Back to the Future day too. When that happened, it's like, man, this wasn't as cool as they. There's no hydrate pizza. I mean, that's the second movie, but that was like the last like Back to the Future event I can think of.
Well, besides hoverboards, I'd say we have it probably better than they imagined it, or
Yeah.
worse, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, I think technology-wise, there's stuff they didn't see coming. But
Well, Zoom, they nailed Zoom pretty good.
that's true. I'm not
Um,
wearing 2 ties though.
No, the
I'm not
fashion
even
is
wearing one, really, to be honest with you. But
yeah, the fashion is so off. I would like shoes that form fit though. That was pretty cool. Those
they have
90s.
that. That's the thing.
Really?
That's real. That's a real
Yeah,
thing.
that's
Yeah.
real.
Oh damn! So you press a button and it like sucks onto your
Zip.
feet.
Yep.
What is it? The Nikes too?
I think they made them purposely for like the movie inspired the shoe. I don't think it was just natural.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I don't know. Do you guys have like a favorite part?
Really,
would
just anytime Marty's mom is on screen.
Yeah.
You're a big. You know what's funny, Matt? One of my big childhood crushes is Elizabeth Shue, and she's Jennifer
Oh,
in parts
see?
2 and 3. So
Yeah.
okay, a little Leah Thompson, Elizabeth Shue. I get you.
If I had to say a favorite one, it's definitely. I mean, the most iconic thing was definitely the performance at the end. I think I was lucky enough to be in a band for a long time, and we covered that song. And the only reason why is because I knew how to play it, and the only reason I knew how to play it was because of this movie. And I got to play it at Chuck Berry's club in St. Louis, and he was
What?
there that night.
What?
I don't-
That's cool.
I don't
Okay.
know if he saw it or if he was in the live room when we were playing it or whatever, and everybody told me don't do that. That's so tacky. Don't play this song. And like we were wrapping up and I just went for it, and I was like, you only get one chance, and I went for it. But yeah, I definitely that sequence at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance was
When
probably
it just
my
cuts to
favorite
the
scene.
guitar and goes,
Yeah.
yeah, love
It's
it.
killer. That whole thing is awesome, and it gets the solo going. Yeah, I love it.
Dude, that's so sick. I didn't know that about you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Eric?
I wish I had a cool story. I was just gonna say, just like the idea of the viewer witnessing this great scientific discovery with, you know, the DeLorean like taking off in the fire trail. I mean, that's an iconic scene, but like, I just like that idea of just like we're witnessing the Wright brothers, we're witnessing this epic scientific discovery, and it's just that's just, like such a feel good moment to me.
So the beginning when they're in the parking lot and just seeing the
I love that.
DeLorean.
I just love that scene, that whole sequence too. Yeah.
It is
We
cool.
kind of spoofed that in our movie Mission Impossible, where
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
also Billy Zane. I love Billy Zane.
he's
Everything
not in
he's
this
done in
one.
it.
He's not
He
in
is
this
in
one.
this one, right?
No, he's not. No, he's
What?
not.
He is,
No,
right?
he's not. No, he's not.
I could have swore I saw him in the giant diner. Okay.
He's the second and third one, but
Oh, I thought he was in this one. I thought I saw him.
that'll do it. Yeah, Billy Zane, man. You know.
There's someone else. Okay, I'm wrong. Forget
Yeah.
that part then. Not my favorite.
Is Billy Zane still alive?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Billy Zane. Yeah, absolutely.
Son of a bitch.
Billy Zane.
I think my favorite part is the end when Marty goes to the car or whatever, and he's driving, and just that tension of going back and forth with the music, and Doc having to stick the electricity back in, and literally just like,
Oh,
"Is he gonna
yeah.
make it?" And it gets to the last possible second. Like, it's so good. I love that, and also the scene, obviously with the music playing and knowing what happens in part 2, where Doc's just like, "Yeah," and then knowing in part 2, it's literally that moment. The second he's like, ah, and then all of a sudden, 2 seconds later, Marty's right behind him. Like, you know?
Yeah, that's right. And he's like, whoa.
He's just like, he's like, "Hey Doc, I'm back." He's like, I just sent you back to the future. Like, that's such like a Rick and Morty moment to me, where it's just like, he must be like, what the fuck is happening? He's like, I know, but I'm back from the future, Doc. And he's just like, fuck, man. Like,
That's awesome.
I love that moment. Is just, it's so good. Yeah,
Well, imagine they did that with a fourth, where you just add another layer on top of it, where like the DeLorean explodes by the train tracks, and then like cut to another DeLorean coming in, or you know,
2 seconds later.
I do know how I want it to end, and I want it to end with fake boob Leah Thompson punching out Biff. That's
Yeah.
how I want it to end.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, like she grabs him and does the same like shot by shot of like clenching her fist and just knocks him out.
They all do a very good job of playing that, like, you know, vulnerable versions of themselves and
Yeah.
the aggressive versions of themselves. They really, like, all Leah Thompson, Crispin Glover, and what's his name, Tompkins, right?
Thomas F. Wilson.
Thomas F. Wilson. All of them, they really do a good job of, like, Biff. You at the end, he's so like, oh hey there, Mr. McFly. Like, it's just
Very
so
different.
different. And I love that. And then seeing the progression throughout the series is cool too. And I feel like we got to talk about Crispin Glover. Just what?
Yeah, you got to touch on that and how he just lawsuited the shit up. He just lawyered up after this one.
What?
Well, you know, I don't know exactly what happened. No, obviously I don't know what happened. But what I've heard throughout the years is that he demanded more money than Michael J. Fox for the sequel. And he was like, I'm just as important in this movie as Michael J. Fox is. I deserve as much money. And they were like, no, you're not. Like,
You're a B, C character. Yeah,
well,
you're not A.
in the first movie, he is kind of like not equal.
He's a B
but
character. It's Doc and Marty.
Yes, you're
Everyone else is a B character.
he's a B character. So here's the thing: if that's true, I obviously don't think Crispin Glover deserves more money than Michael J. Fox. But like, I don't know, he deserves
Unless the script was like, oh, he plays a better role, a bigger role, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where it becomes like a Marty, Crispin Glover, George McFly buddy cop movie instead. That could have been the original script. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out the way it did, but it does suck that Crispin Glover wasn't in the other ones because, you know, I liked him in this.
I mean, too. I mean, when he's laughing at the dinner table at the beginning, he's probably just, you know, doing that now.
Yeah.
No.
One last little line I love at the diner is when he's like, yeah, just give me a tab. He's like, okay, give you a tab. You don't order something. He's like, well, just give me a Pepsi free. And he's just like, I'm not giving you a Pepsi for free, kid. Like,
What a Pepsi you're gonna have to pay for it. I like how the kids think all the video games are for babies now.
Oh, and the second one, Elijah
They're just
Wood.
like, oh, what are you gonna play? That's for babies.
You have to use
Like,
your
people
hands.
still love retro video games.
The exact opposite of that happened.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, kids are killing for Nintendo 64s now.
I'm pretty sure unopened Mario 64 just sold for like $1.2 million.
Wow.
Yeah, my dad
Yeah,
sent me that article. I was like, why? Like, what was up with that? Do you know?
I don't know, mate. Dude, I wish I had unopened shit in my basement or something. Like, that'd be imagine just reading that article and like 10 minutes later, like, wait, do I? Like, and just going down and seeing like the plastic wrap still on a Mario 64. It's like, oh my God. Like,
Yeah, I know. It is kind of nuts.
but no, we played our video games. We're not a loser.
You gotta open them up.
And not the guy who just made 1.2 million. Like, it sucks for you didn't play that as a kid.
Yeah, he has $1.2 million, but he's a weird guy.
Yeah,
he
Gotta
knows
be
ya.
weird. He's
I got 100 stars. I did it.
Yeah, you got it.
Well, anybody got any last minute thoughts on Back to the Future?
5 stars. Would watch again.
Gold standard, as Jack said before too. Like, just gold standard of 80s movie, music and movies, sci-fi movie, just one-liners, just all about it. Great movie.
Yeah,
I don't like 3.
No,
Really? You don't like it at all?
No. I mean, yeah, I like it a little. Like, I enjoy the universe and the characters, but it's like, what?
By the end of it, it was like a show where it's like, I just gotta finish it. Like,
All right, this is the worst comparison ever, but it's like Back to the Future is Grey Goose vodka, Back to the Future 2 is Smirnoff vodka, and Back to the Future 3 is Popov.
Yeah, easily.
It just
I'm
keeps
still gonna
getting
drink
worse. Yeah.
like, but like, I'd rather have the,
You want the good one.
yeah.
No, when I was a kid, I actually think I liked 2 better for like a small period of time. Never 3.
I did too. No, I told people like a 2 is so much better.
I think it's because it was like further in the future, and like that's what in the 90s and the 80s, it was like, yeah, let's see the
Epic.
furthest in the future we can go. Like, this is crazy.
It was so much variety. It was 1955, the present, and the future. It was all like variety.
And then the Wild West. What the fuck? Get out of here.
Yeah, then it got boring. Now we gotta go. We don't have video games anymore. We don't have anything.
Really, really inoffensive or really inappropriate Irish accents.
The other thing that's interesting about the second one is, in which I don't know another movie that's done that, is like you get to rewatch the events of the first movie from a different angle, and it's that's pretty interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah, I can't think of another movie that's really done that. Well, Jack, thank you so much for joining us, man. Always good to hear from you.
I had a great time. I can't believe it always goes by so fast.
It really does. It flies. It flies. This was great.
Especially with the good movies. Yeah, it always does go quick. Well, Erik, you have a
Oh, yes. I gotta do the thing. I gotta do the thing. All right. Pulling up the sci-fi summer wheel. Spinning. Another good one. Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Yeah, it's a great one, though. Sweet. We got Nick Leone for our guest on that one. So look forward to that. But Matt, you've seen that one.
Wait, did you just say you didn't see it, Jack?
I was kidding. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've definitely seen it.
Okay. I was like, wait. Stop him.
If you were a kid in the 90s, it's illegal for you not to have seen this movie. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see everybody next week with Terminator 2 Judgment Day.